Hello everybody, I'm Alfred, and the video we're about to watch and listen to is the movie trailer for Escape the Field. So let's check it out. So how come that gun was just there and the bullet was there? Let's keep watching. Perhaps it's makes sense in the plots.
I have no idea. I just woke up in this field. Now here we are.
So apparently, just off the top, looking at how things are going, apparently somebody set it up hoping that she will kill him. Put the gun there, put a bullet there, and of course it's only going to be her prints that are going to be both on the bullet and on the gun. And she doesn't know where she is, he doesn't know where he is, but in that kind of situation, most people who are out of fear shoot. A woman helpless in a place sees a man approaching and then she shoots.
Okay, come on out.
This doesn't make any sense. How did we get here?
So many people are in that situation where they just found themselves in a cornfield. So it's kind of like a game show kind of thing. Escape the field. Let's see what goes on.
What did you find? Matches. I got this. She's got a knife and a compass.
So it's basically someone playing a game. It's kind of like if there are secret cameras, and this is all a simulation, but they are playing with real human beings, who really don't understand or know what's going on.
We need water.
And some group of people might be watching them and gambling and betting on who is going to win. They have set certain things that they will need and certain things that will create obstacles. So they are just entertaining themselves watching this all play out.
The foot. It's rotten. You'd think we'd found something by now. Come with us. We'll find a way out.
There is no way.
Whatever that thing is, it's coming for us next.
Ryan, can you look at the bottle?
It's a tree, so what?
I think there's more to these items than just their obvious functions. I think it's a map. Parts are missing.
Wait a second.
This lines up.
Don't leave me!
It's just a game to them.
I'm done playing their game.
I don't think this is part of the puzzle.
Escape the field. Of course, this kind of thing, should be done as a horror. It would have been much better and, put in a more twisted way if there were certain things that were unexpected, even for perhaps the people who are in charge of the game, or the people who orchestrated it, or when surprise things happen, or perhaps one or two of them there's disagreement and somebody includes something very twisted, like getting kids in this situation. That would really ante up the notch and make people more interested and vested, and root more for the heroes, or the characters surviving, when kids are involved. That's why horror movies work best when kids' lives are in danger. They appeal more to the audience, they appeal more to people's emotional heartstrings. Apparently when people have seen so many horrors that they are disconnected from it, and they are very aware that they are watching a movie, it has to be done in a way that it sucks people in, so they lose sight of the fact that it's just a movie, and they get sucked into the storyline and they are invested in it like it is real, so that the more realistic emotions can be drawn out of the people, and the people will have a much more enjoyable experience from the movie. But that being said, every movie, every story is best told from a Christian perspective. So if you are watching this and you haven't given your life to Christ, make sure you go to Alfred.vip, click the salvation prayer link in the main menu. When you go at the page, you come out as a prayer of salvation. So that prayer telling God you want to give your life to Christ and begin your walk with God. That being said, if you're out there and perhaps you want to start your own movie studio, video game studio, cartoon studio, whatever, just take the first step. That's all you have to do. When you take the first step, you see that you can take a second and a third and a fourth and another and another and another, and it goes on. These are the steps of faith, So just keep it moving. Now, if you're a pastor, your drama department, that is your movie studio. Your choir, the music department, that is your music company, your music record label, get people in the congregation, who are talented to get involved in the church and in preaching the gospel. The world should not keep having them. The world should not be having the talented singers and the musicians, that they start in the church and they end up, going to the world. Register a separate company, for your church. Let's say your church is called, for example, Calvary Church. Have like Calvary Records. Start basically a different conglomerate. Like Calvary Investment or Calvary Mission Incorporated or whatever. Tell the congregation you want to do it. Tell the board of directors and all that. So you'll be able to do things that you that have to be done to preach the gospel. Right now, church is being charities, are restricting it. As they are registered charities, they are restricted from doing a lot of things that will advance the gospel. The world is shaped by those who are controlling the corporations, those who are controlling business, those who are controlling industry, those who are controlling entertainment, those who are controlling schools. So you have to start thinking of, how do we build our own Christian schools? How do we build our own Christian entertainment companies, our own Disneylands? Look at what Disney is doing. Look how Disney is now promoting and pushing homosexuality, LGBT, and basically pedophilia towards children. It is clear. But that is all of Hollywood, and this is how they have always had their mindsets on, and that is what they push. As time goes on, there will be increasingly anti-Christian messages in movies. But right now, it's already in the schools and all that. That is why there are a lot of people who don't go to church. Why would people not go to church? It's because they have been told all kinds of lies and messages about church. So make sure that you structure your church, have a different for-profit organization, that is part of the church, and that way also puts funding back into the church, so you don't have to always rely on tithes and offerings and always call for tithes and offerings for the church to run, because the more you do that, Satan has already structured things in such a way that puts people off, and you are shooing people away, especially when you are asking people who are not, members of the church. Even members of the church often, they get shooed away because a lot of people are baby Christians and, they are not fully vested in the gospel. They are not fully vested in the cause as they should. But, we should make sure that we don't do things to restrict people from coming to Christ, So when you have a different company like that is doing things, perhaps, also for stability, it also owns shares in several companies that are on the stock market or more solid investments like government bonds and things of that nature, or perhaps starts a situation where you fund members of the congregation who want to start their own small businesses. So you become like an investment hedge fund, part of the conglomerate to be like an investment hedge fund, and also a mortgage, fund, something that will help and create, financial services. It should be clear that this is not a charity. It's a different structure of business, but it's done to enable Christians and to help Christians. It's not better if people go to church and those who have need of jobs get jobs, because, in the church there are people who own businesses who give them jobs, or people who need funding for their small business or have great business ideas. It's not better that they get funded in the church, because if they don't get funded in the church, those who have good ideas will be funded by the world, and the people who will do the funding in the world, we want them to put their company for worldly purposes and aims. For those of you who do not know, Disney started making, it started making truly family friendly films, and even MGN started making Bible movies. That is how it started. The big company, MGN, with the lion logo where you see the lion roaring. That company that is making a lot of secular and ungodly movies now, it started as a Christian company, as something that was making, Bible movies and Christian movies, and they were actually making Bible tracks or things of that nature. They were distributing stuff like that. But as time went on, number one, it was not connected to a church, and it was just the beliefs of the individual. It is not like the founder was, oh, I'm starting a Christian company. He was a Christian, so he just that is the direction he went in. But things veered off track, and you see how things go, and look how the damage that has been done in the world by such messages. It's important for Christians. We put it in the articles of association. In the put it ingrained that in the company that these are the principles. This is the constitution of the company. It is Christian. It's going to make only Christian movies that are pro-Christian, movies that lead people to Christ. Things of that nature, things that will not violate the Bible or any teachings of the Bible. Make those things clear, and then let it be the part of the mission statement of the company. So you have in that company a section that is providing funding for Christian businesses, a section that is providing funding for the choir, which is going to be a record label. People are going to be able to have their own record deals, and of course, the choir has its own albums as a choir. Then members of the choir are able to individually have their own record deals, where they release solo albums. Then also do the same, do that with the drama department. Let the drama department, let them make sitcoms, even shorts, YouTube shorts and TikTok, dance to Christian music, dance to the choir music, get the people involved in the congregation. Let them start, create your own official church, channel on TikTok and on other platforms like that. Let the members of the church do these things. It's very important, and this is something that should be taken seriously. Even the kind of Lele shots. A lot of sitcoms, as a matter of fact, were made by in places that were just basically in a room. If you look at a lot of the old sitcoms, even most of the new ones, they are just shot in either a school setting, a classroom setting, or a house setting. A lot of the classic sitcoms are just in the parlor of a house, like from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Family Matters, almost every major sitcom, there are just few locations that they shoot, but those are just staged locations, things that are staged that way. So you can stage the altar or, below the altar to look like a parlor, and on days that are not service days, you make use of the church. Let the drama department, put together dramas and, basically shoot their own sitcoms, make DVDs and all of that from it, and then market that, start your own Netflix kind of thing if you want, or put out content for free, which is preferable, and you can monetize it via ads or other things. So do these things to preach the gospel and to push the gospel out there, because the world and Satan is actively occupying and becoming the official god of the world. The world is embracing true Satanism in its rawest form, and you can see a sample of that in the embracing of LGBT and the pushing of LGBT into every other thing. The pushing of things like critical race theory, which is basically demoralizing for not just white people but for dark-skinned people, because when you are telling people that they are racist by default, because of the color of their skin, they are oppressors, it is their fault, they are the people who are making people's life difficult and all of that, just because of the color of their skin. You have put them down, you have destroyed self-esteem, and those kinds of things will end up increasing suicide rates and a lot of dependency. People will be less independent and strong, and when it comes to believing in their abilities, that is being attacked. And you can see that with white guilt. Then on the other side, you are making African Americans and people of African descent feel that no matter what you do, you are less down, you are inferior. If you feel that you are above, if you feel that you are a victim, not a victim, or you're a Candace Owens, or you're a Coon, or you are a Brandon Tatum, they put you in that category of, oh, there's something wrong with you. They want you to feel low. So on either side, it demoralizes both people. And there is Satan behind it. There is a force that is working against humanity on earth in increasing measures. right now. So we must fight, the rapture has not yet happened. What happens and how Christians live before the rapture is up to Christians. The level of persecution we face is in our hands. There are a lot of people who feel that, yes, a Christian must face persecution. The fact that a Christian, persecution is something that a Christian will face. The extent of the persecution depends on how the Christians respond and how the Christian prays. Jesus said, pray always, pray you don't fall into temptation. In the same way, pray you are not faced with the temptations of a gun being pointed to your head and you being told, deny Jesus or I will shoot you, or great persecutions that are happening. You can pray about such things not happening, and you can also act, because prayer without action is dead, just like faith without works is dead. There's action that goes with prayer. So we have to be active in politics. We have to be active in going into entertainment, writing the stories, going into the schools, creating the curriculums, creating the schools, ensuring that we are the leaders of thought and we drive the direction of thought. Otherwise, it will be Satan and his minions that will be in charge of that, and you can see all the chaos that results because of that. So that being said, I would like to go out with let's listen to one of my songs. Remember, if you haven't given your life to Christ, go to alfred.vip, click the salvation prayer link in the main menu. When you are at the page, you come out as a prayer of salvation. Say that prayer, telling God you want to become a Christian and begin your walk with God. Now let's listen to one of my songs. Let's go out listening to it.
I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. I'm on my music parole. You can tell by the class, nobody mustachio. Old fashioned down to the toes. The shoes always clean just like a mirror. We'll see a speck of dust no matter how far I go. We'll see a tread out of place in the military inspection. Or there I go bragging. Oh no, but it's known I'm the most humble man in the world. I spread respect yourself. What you spread is what you get. Give your best, you get the best. Dress your best and people see the best. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. I'm on my parole. Parole with a suit, parole with the swag, parole with a camp, parole with the...
So that's that, make sure you check out, my songs and all that, The best way to get them is to go to alfred.vip, but they are also available on several streaming platforms. But when you go to alfred.vip, you can download it and own the mp3. The mp3 is now yours, and you can feel free to share it, upload it to your own site, let people download it, include it as in gift packs with things that you give away. Let's say that you own a company, you can bond them to CDs and give them as gift packs to people who buy your products, as a special gift, as an additional gift. That goes for books that I've written, books by me, and my music as well, and as time goes on, my movies and things of that nature. Thank you, and God bless you.